In order to procrastinate doing my taxes this year, I decided to play the first visual novel that helps you do your taxes. And this pink-haired anime girl asked me for my social security number to advance, and So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the production of Tax Heaven 3000 and go over the plot of this game? I should mention first, this game is made by MSCHF. They're the Brooklyn art collective you may know from the creation of the giant Fruit Loop, or those oversized red Astro Boy boots that one guy got stuck on his foot. So when MSCHF announced they're making a game where you need to file your taxes, I think a lot of people were excited and skeptical, since this could go in any direction. You know, what's their motivation behind this? Not to mention the last time people got a visual novel of anime girls reading books in their literature club, it turned into a horror story, so, you know, once bitten, twice shy. But MSCHF's goal here is to take down big tax companies that charge tons of fees just to file your taxes. So with that in mind, let's see what this game's all about. You play as a guy moving to a new town, and you realize you don't have a pencil to fill out your taxes. This is when you run into your pink-haired love interest, Iris. Like IRS. Haha. Who's her sister? Fed? She asks you out for coffee the next day, and that's when she begins to ask questions. It's kind of funny because she starts by asking if you're single or married, but answering the question here is actually filling out your tax form. So it's like you're playing a game and doing your taxes at the same dang time. I played through this game honestly my first time through, and Iris was delighted to find out I'm not married, but in my second playthrough I wanted to see how she'd act if I said I was married, and well, I got a game over. Yeah, I lost at Tax Heaven 3000. Yeah, I lost at a visual novel. Yeah, I lost at a damn book. Okay, I guess if they didn't have the capacity to account for different tax options, it would make sense to focus specifically on the non-married demographic, as I think that's probably the highest demographic playing a game where the waifu does your taxes. But hey, that's just a hunch though. A game hunch. Did you know this game had a physical release that comes with a CD of the game, as well as a body pillow of Iris? Even funnier, did you know the game was on Steam and was swiftly removed? Yeah, I don't think Steam wanted to have a game on their platform where everyone uploaded their W2s, so I had to get the itch.io version. Anyways, back to the story. We talked to Iris in the coffee shop, and she asks me more information about myself, and then we go to the library and I read her journal in which she records everything she did that day down to the minute, kind of like a robot. Oh no. Then we go to the tax office with Iris and make some photocopies of stuff she needs to do for work, and she tells me I'm really good with my fingers. You go back to the cafe, and one of the only questions in the game that doesn't check a box on your tax return is what kind of drink do you want to order from the cafe, and if you should get one for Iris too while you're waiting for her to show up. Now just for the record, I got a latte, and I got Iris a latte too. I don't think I'd order for her in advance in real life because you don't know what they want, and you know, maybe it'll get cold and she could be upset, but you know, I would drink the latte if she didn't, so you know, I just ordered the latte. I don't know. Okay, this was a really important decision for me to make in this game, alright? Iris asks me what I do for a living, and we get to talking more, and then she asks the question. Well, there's the reason this probably got taken off stores. Now I will say, you don't have to fill in your correct info. They don't check and verify if you put a false number in, and the game can be played offline too, so it's probably fine. I mean, the whole game's message so far is to discuss how big tax companies lobby to ensure taxes are expensive and inaccessible, and prey on the fear and exhaustion of the American people. So I put my faith in them. This game is coming from a genuine place, so I gave Iris my info. She asked for my W2? Sure. She asked for my phone number? Sure. But if she were to ever ask for this mechanical pencil and big pink eraser back she gave me, that's where I draw the line. Iris invites me back to her place, so yeah, I think she liked the latte I got her. The dim lighting in the room concerns me, and it reminds me an awfully lot of the end of Doki Doki Literature Club, and I'm sure everyone's thoughts are, oh no, the cutesy visual novel is gonna turn to a horror story like all the others. And even worse, I've given her all my personal information. This is gonna be bad. I didn't read the fine print, man. I'm gonna get audited or something. I didn't read the fine print. But Iris talks about how she loves you and how taxes are something she's good at and can bond with people over. And maybe one day we'll even file a joint return together. So all that's left is to print my taxes, and they honestly give you the actual filled out form with all your information needed to mail in your federal taxes. You even get a page before the document with Lisa Frank stickers Iris put on the page for you. Granted, this is only the federal tax aspect and not state tax. It's really cool though that they put out a legitimate option to file and mail your taxes as opposed opposed to using a TurboTax. The tax deadline is approaching fast, even as I'm making this video, so I unfortunately failed Iris and used a tax preparation software. But hey, it wasn't TurboTax, okay? So that's Tax Heaven 3000. There's no big twist where Iris is evil or steals your tax information, which I'm personally pretty fortunate about. After I finished the game, I felt motivated to do my taxes and to not commit tax fraud for Iris. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but there's a little meter in the corner of the game that displays your refund amount, and it's kind of funny because it blends in like a real dating sim UI that usually displays something like today's date or your love meter or something. But the tax refund amount displayed for me on my legitimate playthrough was actually the exact amount I got when I filed for real today. I don't know if I should be surprised or scared at that. I had an anime girl file my taxes. I like that the game was straightforward in this day and age. No plot twist is pretty subversive and helps to not muddle their authentic point of bringing awareness to people regarding how we view and deal with taxes. I wish there was a little more banter personally. I think it would have been nice and a little more personable to at least have one silly conversation, or like maybe she'd ask me a funny would you rather question or something, I don't know. And although the game was removed from Steam, I was still able to find reviews and comments left on the game from people, and I found out there's hidden lore. I love hidden lore. Like, if a bag of broccoli had hidden lore I'd have to go online to find, I'd totally do it. Hidden lore is like the equivalent of a toy in the cereal box, but for crazy people. And not to side tangent too freaking hard, but speaking of toys in your cereal box and the incentive to buy a cereal you're not as crazy about for the toy growing up, does anyone remember the Pokemon-shaped macaroni as a kid? For some reason, it tasted ungodly bad. Like, it was the worst thing ever. It's so much worse than the original macaroni and cheese, I don't know why. But I endured. You know why? Because they were shaped like Pokemon. Anyways, to get back to the metaphorical toy in the box here, we need to read the official Tax Heaven 3000 fanfictions from their official website, which means we need to go to Wattpad. There's like almost an hour of story on freaking Wattpad about this game, officially from MSCHF. So we get 3 stories about Iris and taxes, and this is where a lot of the crazy lore gets filled in, like how Iris is part of a TurboTax resistance force and gets abducted by TurboTax. She's a rogue tax AI that has morals and escaped TurboTax, and then she gets abducted and saved and stuff. I don't think I read the stories in the right order. The links to the stories on the Tax Heaven 3000 website are all in Japanese, and they don't exactly work properly. Like, the link to Wattpad's fanfictions doesn't properly search for stories with the tag Tax Heaven 3000. So as a result, it ended up searching for some other stuff too. Like, if I click the link on the website, you get the 3 Tax Heaven 3000 stories, and then you get this 139 chapter vampire poly-romance story. I don't know how that got in here. So while I was making this video, I looked on Wattpad about stories that were tagged under tax, because I saw this story was trending under tax. And I found the number 6 story under tax is called The General, which just has a, I don't know what kind of, is that an egg, what do you call those things? I don't know, I don't really eat burgers. What the hell is that? An Egg McMuffin. That's an Egg McMuffin.
Yes! You just read my mind!
I'll just read the full story to you. "Hello, how are you?" said General McMuffin to the tax collector. "I'm good, General McMuffin. I've come to collect your taxes." "Nope," said General McMuffin as he jumped backwards from the window off his 2-story house, in loving memory of General McMuffin. So yeah, I mean, Tax Heaven's really capitalizing on the tax stories that are on Wattpad. I think it's a really untapped mine of potential to have fanfictions just about writing taxes. There's also a button on the website called X-Rated Patch, and it lives up to its name. It's an extremely graphic, extremely NSFW fanfiction called the Bofa Encounter. MSCHF always has fun website designs for all their projects, but what's funny about this is if you want to read the Bofa story, you really have to work for it. This button links you to a random story every time you click it. A lot of people probably clicked it and assumed the link was broken since it usually opens a random Wattpad fanfiction, but if you click it enough times, you may get lucky enough to read the NSFW fanfiction. Or unlucky, you know. It's called the Bofa Encounter. Like, oh my god, I can't even read any of this on screen. It's that inappropriate. I'll read like one of the only parts I can read probably from the X-rated patch. So many niche tax credits. The EIC, the AOC, and CEC, the BOFA, the FIC. Iris raised her eyebrows. Sorry to interrupt, but what's BOFA? I've never heard of that acronym. Sorry, I probably seem so dumb right now. No, this has actually been quite an enlightening conversation. The BOFA refers to both of these nuts, of course, he said in such a serious tone. It took Iris a while to realize what he had just said. She stared at him, unable to decipher his meaning. Was he flirting with her, or was he just making a really dumb joke? He raised a single eyebrow, causing her to burst out laughing. Could you repeat that? She asked, still chuckling. I said it means both of these nuts, he repeated in a slightly deeper voice. She placed her lips on his, and it didn't take him a second before he reciprocated and began kissing her back. What the fuck, man? But yeah, that's Tax Heaven 3000, a fun, cute little visual novel about a rogue TurboTax AI waifu who you can grab a latte with as she helps you file your taxes. I think the overall message and vision are really nice, though I wish the game had a little more spice or conversation pieces. The absolute novelty and premise is like no other. If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing. I mean, I put my life on the line to make this video, so if that doesn't get a like, I don't know what will. Alright, I'm gonna go double check my taxes. I'll talk to you later. Bye.